right. Happy day. Comment allez-vous? How are you? Sorry I've been gone, baby. I missed you. All right. Well, let me mark the start here. All right. Good morning. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 20,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today for a cold start. I've been out of the country and off the internet for days and days and days and days. And so I don't know what's going on. So cool. So we'll get through that. Oh, Richard says, hey, I just wanted to say that the market outlook was super great and educational. And NFP on Friday, oh my God, watched it 3 times. Awesome. Awesome, dude. That's cool. My absolute pleasure and honor. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term. Never risk money cannot afford to lose. Hello, my name is Wayne, but my friends call me Sir. So, hey, I'm a currency trader, been doing this a long time. I just did some currency trading, non-leveraged in a third world country. It's pretty interesting when you got to go to the black market to buy some money. I'm like, ooh, this is cool. So anyways, I've done this many ways, leveraged and non-leveraged. Let me know how I can share my 20 years of foreign exchange trading experience. I got a few other years as a high-tech entrepreneur and venture capitalist investor. I've also spent a few years as a nonprofit leader of a nonprofit organization overseeing 3,000 people. Cool. So I'm just here to share. That is the raison d'etre. I want to teach you technical analysis, fundamental analysis, macroeconomics, trader psychology, whatever. It's teaching, it's sharing, it's storytelling. There's a lot to this, but ultimately, my goal is for you to not fall for the nonsense that is probably out there, and B, get some real advice. And then the rest is up to you. I want you to succeed. But I can tell you, if someone had just told me in the beginning what to do, it would have been so much easier because I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out on my own, and that's got to be the slowest, most painful way of doing this thing called Forex. I should put some more light on my face. There we go. Is it better? Anyways. So ask questions, get involved. I will do my best to help. There are other resources available to you. If you look in the description below today's video, maybe you're going to look below the video and click the thumbs up button. Maybe consider subscribing. Then you'll see all these links to resources. There's a link to my book. I'm guessing you already own it. Would you please leave a review on Amazon.com? The second thing is FX Bootcamp, the community that I built 20 years ago. I had this radical idea that nobody was doing. I was going to use webinar software. I don't even know if they called it webinar yet, but I was going to use webinar software to show people what I was doing live. Instead of showing a PowerPoint, I would show my charts. And that was radical. I'm telling you, radical. How long ago was that? YouTube hadn't been invented yet. Okay, cool. Also, in the description below, you'll find a link to tradersway.com. They are a trustworthy, ethical foreign exchange broker that earned my loyalty and my respect through their actions in the real world, in the real market. That's it. Not a banner ad. Okay? Not a promotion. They earned my loyalty and respect, and I appreciate them. If you're considering having a foreign exchange broker, which we all need one, Give them a shot. See if they can earn your loyalty and respect. Yeah. Fast execution speed, narrow spreads, huge swaps. Yeah, that's all good. Ultimately, you need to trust your broker. I trust Traders Way. Tradersway.com. Let's get on with it. Oh, don't click that button. I clicked the end stream button. Hey, I have to go over here now. See, Rusty, cold start. Shh. Don't talk. Just listen. All right. So, look, cold start. Like I'm fresh off the boat right now. I haven't had internet access. I tried to do some quant box while I was gone, and I was blocked from from my own website. Anyway, so so I've been away. Let's take a look. Oh, thank you, Dwayne. Hey, Dwayne, I met a guy in Cuba, and we were just he's a local, and we were talking about I don't know, just life in general. And it turns out he's a hunter. And I'm like, what? Yeah. And so they hunt, I said boar. He laughed. He's like, no, they're not boar. They're wild pigs. But other things, ducks and a few other things. But he hunts with bow as well as by rifle. And I imagine shotgun. But I thought, ooh, wouldn't that be fun? Walking through the hills of Cuba, hunting. Oh, man, that'd be epic. Yeah. Cool. Anywho, let's, so look. Okay. And looks like USD is weak. Okay. All is this? I guess this is all residual from non-farm payrolls, huh? And really, it's not non-farm payrolls, is it? It's ISM, right? Oh, Bernd also listened to the Outlook as well. Coolio. Cool beans. I'll be pulling that down soon. I got a lot of requests to do the Outlook quarterly, and I've been thinking about it. Yeah, I might do it. I might do that. It makes sense to me. It also forces me to do the work that I'm supposed to be doing, So that's one major benefit. Cool. All right. So So we're climbing the ladder here. Climbing the ladder. This is really, non-farm payrolls dropped this down, then ISM drove it back up. Okay. And so we have a higher high, higher low. There's your roll reversal. And seems to still be bullish. We're riding the 21 EMA. Now we're kind of caught here where you could, well, instead of doing that, let me get my drawing tool. Okay, you could look at it, I guess we'll just use black. You could look at it this way. So you could choose, is that a flag pattern? Yeah. Okay, so yes, and a flag pattern, you'd probably trade it like this. I wanted that to be a different color. Come on, Bubba. There we go. Okay, a flag pattern, you'd probably look for something like this, right? You want to let it get into the apex of the triangle and then break. And very often, I think the guide, the rule of thumb is this distance to that distance put up above. Yeah, okay. I love technical analysis, don't get me wrong, but I don't trade that way. That's not how I think. I don't think, okay, well, this is a flag pattern. And then if this is a flag pattern, then it's going to go from, the distance between A and B is going to be from C to D. And, now you're just trading a pattern. I think a little bit for myself. I don't trade the pattern per se. So instead, I say, well, we are riding the 21 EMA, and that's why we use the 21 EMA. And so this is only bullish. And I understand we're struggling to make higher highs, but I also understand that this is an out zone, and this is an out zone. Sorry, the first one's not drawn very well. I apologize. Both of those zones say out. So what should I do? Should I trade the pattern or should I trade the probability? See, the pattern says this. Okay, so is that where we're going? Maybe. But should I ignore the probability of profit taking around 70? No, not in my humble opinion. What do you stink? Huh? Hey, did you click the thumbs up button? Yeah. Okay, so we'll get rid of this. This will probably present itself later, just not now. Okay, so right now I don't know anything except Aussie dollar up. So now I got to look at the other currencies and confirm or deny. So I'll skip dollar. I'll just go in the same direction. Okay, this was my plan last week. And by the way, just FYI, at the end of non-farm payrolls, I was just wrapping up and I showed people, I'm like, look, I got 900 pips profit. And then ISM came out and so all of a sudden I only had 700 pips profit. I'm like, oh my God, I just lost 100 pips. So I cashed out of everything. Boom, 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 except my Mexican peso trade. So I lost about 100, somewhere between 100 and 150 because the news popped it. And so I shut down NFP and I'm like, oh, it's ISM. Out. And then that was that. So, well, we talk a lot about discipline, don't we? I always think discipline isn't for a new trader is to do the right kind of entry. But for a more experienced trader, having the discipline to get out of a profitable trade is far greater. Because once you become a more consistent, more experienced trader, well, entering trades is just normal. There's nothing interesting to it. But the real interest is when do you get out? And so so I did that, and then I shut down my computer and I left, and I haven't looked at the market since. And so I was short euro dollar on Friday, and now I look at it going, oh my God, right? Good, das gut, ja, right? I got out, and holy smokes, I got out on that first green candle, halfway through that first green candle. So the reason I bring that up is I've trained myself over the years to pat myself on the back when I deserve it, because what I found in my early years, what I would do is I would punish myself when I made mistakes, but I also punished myself on profitable trades because I could have made more. I should have made more money. I could have made more money. Excuse me. And found out that I was never happy. I was upset when I lost. I was upset when I made money because I could have made more money. And why did I do this? And why didn't I do that? And I realized that was hindering myself emotionally, right? So anyway, so I get back to this and I'm like, okay, I very, very quickly lost 150 pips because I had 5 or 6 trades open, right? But I look back, I would have lost them all those pips. So I look back and say, smart move, dude, good. Not that I should have known to get out earlier, but I recognized what happened, saw the risk, responded properly, because I didn't know. I didn't know down here. Again, let me get my drawing tool. Okay, so I exited probably in here, right? Yeah. So I used to complain that, like, why didn't I know? Well, okay. Why didn't I exit before ISM? Well, I didn't know ISM, right? And so anyway, so good. Yeah, so anyways, good job. Okay. So I made about 500 pips profit and then left the other trade, which would benefit from dollar weakness. I left that open. So we'll take a look at that in a bit. But just on the psychology level, thumbs up. Okay. So anyways, good. Not ready to sell that. Not ready to sell that. Holy smokes, look at that. Again, I look at that and think, oh, good job, dude. Sweet. Okay, so what do we have here? A correction. And of course, technical analysis would tell you maybe something like that. I wouldn't use an hourly for that type of analysis. But I do know this is a sell zone. Okay, so I got to be careful, okay, because I actually want it to come down, okay, but right now it's very difficult because it's a higher high. So, well, I suppose I wait or I scalp my way down, okay, scalp my way down. That kind of stuff. But that looks, that could be good for me. That, right? It's just this congestion that we have in here. I'm going to call this congestion. Okay. Is that resistance? No. Do I sell at resistance? Yes. But that's not resistance, so I don't sell it. Forex.Exchange says, is job data still important for making the Fed's decision? Absolutely. So Forex.Exchange, if you go back 2 Fed meetings, no, maybe it was the last one. Maybe it was the last one. The last Fed meeting during the press conference, he basically said, you have to read between the lines, but he basically said in one of his answers that they're not even really watching the inflation number. They're watching the job number. Now, I gave great detail why, okay? I've given great detail and training, and it might have been during the outlook for 2023, but in that presentation, I broke down in very, very, very great detail, refined detail, of why and how you should look at different types of job data and how that leads to the Fed's decision for inflation. So now we care about certain types of inflation. So you could have paid the $10 and joined the 2-hour lecture, but I spent 2 hours answering that question, specifically Forex.Exchange. So I don't have 2 hours today. So the recording, I'll probably delete the recording, at the end of the week? I think I said. Why jobs? Well, there's a string of economic rationale to that. Cool. And exactly the same over here. So dollar weak across the board. But look, this does not have to make higher highs. Okay, now it might, but the next thing I need to do professionally is I need to launch QuantBox, my super secret fundamentally based alert service. I need to launch that because you might say technically this is going to go up, but what if you knew, let's say 80% of the time, January and February and March end up doing this? How would you feel? Well, it should impact the way you look at this, even though it could just go up. And the logic there is what the Fed is doing is starting to work, and you can see it in the ISM data. Okay, great. That could be one outcome. But let's say over 20 years, it almost always does what the pink line is doing. So at some point, don't we have to kind of use technical analysis to figure out, are you doing the black line or the pink line? And really, if you don't know how to do the technical analysis good enough, couldn't you just flip a coin and say, okay, black line. Okay, and let me tell you why flipping a coin would be a better choice than not making a decision. Remember, amateurs don't know, so they don't make decisions because they don't even know a decision is to be made. Well, let's say you're like, well, I don't even know why one would happen versus the other. That's where I'm like, well, you're better off just flipping a coin. Because if all you know is technical analysis, then it's easy. Okay? So let's say you chose pink line. And so you flip a coin and it says, oh, pink line. Okay, pink line. So now you use technical analysis. Okay, let's do that. Let's do technical analysis. Okay, are we at resistance? No. Are we at support? Yes. So do you sell a 4-hour 21? No. Do you sell? See, I look at that not as a pivot point. I'm looking at it as a roll reversal. So do I sell at support on a roll reversal off of a higher high? No. So I say I flipped a coin and it said sell lower highs. Is this a lower high? No. So I'm done. Done. FX chain, look, I spent 2 hours answering the question. It cost $10. You should have joined the 2-hour presentation. Now it's still inside of FX Bootcamp. I don't know if you, I suppose you can still buy it, right? I think. I honestly don't know. But dude, you're so 4 or 5 days ago. You're so 5 days ago, FX chain. Look, I answered it. It took me 2 hours. Okay. Now maybe you didn't get the email. So maybe you should join FX Bootcamp. It's $88 a year and you would have got an email. Cool. So sorry to be so facetious. It's just, hey man, I'm tired. I've been traveling like a dirty dog. But that's it. I already did that. That was a great question a week ago and I answered it. Cool. So anyways, dollar week. Let's go and take a look at gold, oil, and Bitcoin. Looks like Goldie is, WTI is flipped around. Let's look at this. Okay, good. Yeah, okay, so it did not make a lower low. So it held up at 72 and something. Okay, interesting. So now we have the higher high, higher low, higher high scenario. Okay, and this is where bulls and bears are going to battle it out. There's the battleground at 78. Get ready for a battle. Okay, get ready for a battle. And if you're a bull, you need to let it break let it pull back, and then buy. If you're a bear, look for something more like this. Okay, but that's the battleground. And the end zones are here. Okay? You're on the inside of a range. If that happened to you, Jeffrey, just send me an email. Trucking Mogul says, you taught me a good lesson about forward thinking, Wayne, and I appreciate it. Well, thank you. That's what I want. That's what I want. My goal isn't to tell you what to do. My goal is not to put you into trades. I want to teach you. Gee whiz. Hey, you think I've been smoking cigars or something? I want to teach you how to make decisions. Okay? Spencer says, so China reopening can help this trade idea? Maybe. Any thoughts on CPI? What about? By the way, gee whiz, look at, I don't know why I got a frog in my throat. Hang on. I better take some vitamin C, huh? Man, I've been in airports. Airport after airport after airport. Okay. Yeah, well, Jeffrey, I haven't been in the country for days and days and days and days and days. So, all right, we'll take a look at gold. Oh, even Plan B has failed off this thing. Interesting. All right, so I'll have to probably realign my satellites on this one. That's interesting. Again, this boost would have been after ISM. Yeah. See, the boost was after ISM. So I would argue my Plan B, which is up in this zone, was pretty okay up until that point. What I would have expected. Yeah, you know what? My throat. I feel like I'm getting sick. I better take some vitamin C fast, huh? Maybe I'll end this live stream quickly here. Well, Richard, I don't have to read it. I can just see what happened here, and I can tell you how the market responded, and I can guess on what the numbers were. But yeah, I can break it down, but, you know, once again, that presentation I broke it down, ISM services and manufacturing. I looked at 4 different subcomponents each. So that's sort of an idea of a breakdown. And I know what would have created this. So I can guess on what the numbers were and what the interpretation was. So ultimately, I suppose the numbers don't matter. Now, you might argue, well, it's a mixed bag. This said this and that said that. Well, but the reality is that's how it was interpreted. You know what I mean? So does reality matter? It's all an illusion. So it's more like, how was it interpreted? And I can see that. But my oh my WTI, oil's Oscar Mike, that's interesting. Bitcoin, I can see, made it to 17 and a half. Last time I looked at it, was $1,000 lower. Which is too bad because I owned a bunch of it last week. Yeah, I think I sold a bunch of Bitcoin here. Not shorted, but sold it. But I didn't expect that, so like, give me my money. Cool. By the way, the foreign exchange booth at the international airport wanted $1.33 for euro. Richard, you have to click on it. You have to click on it, and then it shows you the link to the video. Don't listen to the podcast version. Open up the page and look at it. It was the only way I could do it. I know it's not ideal, but look, I couldn't have done it a different way, so. Gold is expected to rally this year. Why would you say that? That's such a vague, abstract statement. Who expects? Why do they expect? So you got to bring more to the conversation than that, buddy. Come on. Who expects it to rally and why? Okay. So anyways, boop, boop, boop. Okay, we can look at that. Because if you tell me the why, I might disagree with the why and say, well, that's not my point of view. And here's the data that I'm looking at. So I might disagree with the why, but that's just so empty. What am I going to say? No, that's wrong. But you haven't told me anything, so how could it be wrong? It's just empty. So anyways, come on. Bring it. And looking at exotics, so I did not get out of my peso trade because remember, I'm already short the dollar and ISM, wrong one. ISM was anti-dollar, so I stayed with it. So let's see. So I'm now up 471 pips and 80% return on investment on interest only. Cool. Hey, not bad, right? Good enough for the girls I go with. Good. Remember, the goal of that trade was to teach you how to stay in trades longer. According to the forecast, gold could reach a high of 2,100 and silver could reach expects gold. Yeah, but that doesn't tell me anything. And Saxo Bank detailed gold. But those burned are also empty statements. That's like Kathy Wood saying Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million. What an empty, boring statement. Oh, but you're like, oh, but big banks are talking about it. So what? It still doesn't tell me anything. Right? God told me in a dream that gold is going to go to 5,000. Give me the economic rationale of why. It's just nonsense. Okay? It's like me going on TV. How do I get on TV? Maybe I send out a press release saying gold is going to go to $5,000. oh, what an amazing outlook. You know, now I get invited on CNBC and I go up there and I'm like, gold is going to go to $5,000. It's just like, it's hysteria. It's hyperbole. But at the end of the day, it's just empty, right? So like, I don't care what the number is. Start with the rationale, okay? So like when it comes to gold, I explained when gold went up and 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 up, I showed you evidence that it was central banks buying gold to devalue their own currency because of a change in flow of capital due to economic closures during COVID-19. Okay, you see? And I'm like, this is what is actually happening. This is why central banks are buying gold. And then when that process was over, they had to reverse the process. They had to adjust, what we call rebalance. They had to rebalance their balance sheet, rebalance, because it's a balance sheet. Balance sheets have to balance. Now they're like, uh-oh, now our currency is too weak. And now the capital flow has gone back to something closer to normal. But now we have to fight inflation. So to fight inflation, they sell off the gold, they buy their own currency back, and then, dude, that's why gold comes down. Okay? Now we get a statement. Zaroff says, hey, central banks are still buying gold. Okay, give me a link. Which central bank? Is it Israel? Is it India? Show me. But when I look at commodities, pull up gold, okay? And we'll look at it on weekly, okay? Okay, so you would have to tell me that this has to do, right here, this bottom, has to do with central banks buying. Now, the first thing I would ask is, well, give me the evidence. But even before the evidence, why would a central bank want to buy gold, Zaroff? What does that do to the currency? Pick a country, any country. Doesn't matter. The outcome's the same. And for everyone that has access to FX Bootcamp training videos, the one on monetary policy will go over the balance sheet of a central bank. Okay? And then we go over how this directly affects money supply and how the change of money supply changes the value of the currency. And then you'd have to think forward using the fundamentals course about how that would impact inflation. Okay, Zaroff? So you would have to say to me, there's a central bank somewhere in the world trying to create inflation. So which central bank is trying to create inflation? And you're like, well, I don't think any central bank's trying. Then your report is wrong. Okay? Okay, you are talking about, here's what you're actually telling me. A central bank is trying to increase money supply, lowering the value of their currency, and increasing inflation in their economy. Okay? So you'd have to answer that, like, why? So you say, well, Central Bank of Turkey. Okay, why would Central Bank of Turkey maybe want to try to do that? Maybe their goal isn't inflation because they already have 1,000% inflation. Why do they have 1,000% inflation? Because they have no foreign reserves. because they run their economy as a closed economy. So they got no real money. So the government is probably taking their worthless money and trying to buy any hard asset they can. But while doing so are probably screwing the people of Turkey. Okay? So let's change this. How about, is there any major bank? Bank of England? Bank of Japan? European Central Bank? The Fed? Reserve Bank of Australia? Reserve Bank of New Zealand? The Bank of Canada? Okay? Now, Kazakhstan, yeah, at some point they converted oil into gold and then gold back into maybe a different asset. But anyways, yeah. But look, I don't care. What I'm getting at is I want you to, Zarif, I don't want you to prove it. I want you to understand what I'm trying to say. There's a reason for it. Okay? That's all I want people to focus on, because there's so much noise and there's so much nonsense. And, I read it in a report. Well, there's probably a huge chance that the report is wrong. You have to start with logic first. Give me the hypotheses. Why would Turkey want to buy gold? We have to figure that out. Okay, well, they might have a different rationale because they have a closed economy, they have no foreign reserves, and they're desperate to find ways to pay off their loans, but also to hedge against their ridiculous inflation. But that's a terrible economy. It's like the dumbest economy in the world. It's like negligence. Now, I have Turkish friends, so I'm not saying that Turkish people are bad or stupid or something, but the economic decisions I disagree with. So now maybe the consequence of that is they're shorting their own money to get any kind of hard asset they have, but they're not trading with Europe and America and Canada and England nearly enough. So in the vault of the central bank, they don't have Canadian dollars, they don't have euros, they don't have pounds, and they don't have dollars. So they're like, well, shoot, we got to do something. So they buy some gold. Okay, great. But look, that's not going to change the world of, gold. So think about all the major currencies, right? And are any of them trying to create inflation? Heck no. Then I don't need to see another report. Now, you might show me a report. And you're like, look, Tajikistan or something is buying, right? Gold. Okay. But is it changing the world of gold? No, I don't know. I don't know about that, right? Now, Byrne says, okay, maybe the People's Bank of China. China is the largest producer of gold in the world. The second largest producer of gold in the world is the United States. They get their gold by digging it in the ground. They're not getting their gold necessarily from buying it from Australia or South Africa. They're producing it. So anyways, okay. So, and I'm going to go take some cold medicine. I'm so afraid of getting sick. But I'll just leave that point. Like, the point I'm trying to make is I want you to think for yourself. Why don't listen to people. Don't even listen to me. Okay? But if you read a report from Goldman Sachs, don't trust them because they're Goldman Sachs. Follow the money. Why would a central bank buy? That's like, why would they do it? What impact would it have on their economy? What impact would they have on their monetary policy? What impact would that have on their money supply? And how does that translate to inflation, deflation, all this kind of stuff? But there's a goal, there's a reason. A central banker doesn't, guess. There's meetings and meetings, and they have economists and PhDs, and they bring in experts, and they have even politicians, and there's this big mess of people, and it takes lots of decisions, and then the outcome of meetings and meetings and research and models and models and models and meetings and more research and models and meetings, then they say, you know what? We need to buy some gold because this is what we're trying to do. It's not a guess. So you got to start with that. Why would the central bank buy gold? Well, what would it do to the balance sheet? How does that impact money supply? And does that lead to growth or contraction of money supply or interest rates or currency valuations? Why? If you get the why, the rest is just technical analysis. So we'll get there. So sorry I was late today, but I'm right. I got here fresh off the boat, so it was nice to see you. And if you're in my day trading group, we will see each other at 4 p.m. If you'd like to join the day trading group, it's super difficult. You have to go to fxbootcamp.com. First, you have to pay $88 for your membership. Okay, $88 a year. And then you upgrade your account to unlock both the swing trading group and the day trading group. Swing trading group meets twice a week. Day trading group meets every day. Even Sundays, so that we can set up Monday's trades. Cool. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Hey, kick the thumbs up button, huh? Tell YouTube this was good. I'd appreciate that because it just simply maybe helps YouTube decide whether they should promote this to other traders. And I believe the more traders we can teach how to trade properly, the better the trends we get. And we all benefit from trends because I'm teaching you how to be a macroeconomic trend trader. So I'll see you later. Remember, day traders, 4 p.m., day traders, 4 p.m. Oh, and here's an ad so that YouTube can make money.